Hello and welcome back. Even though I only got my 3D printer about 2 months ago, I would say I'm already a big fan, maybe an enthusiast. And so I'm embracing a number of 3D printed items. This video is intended to talk about the recent redesign of the KaThanha magazines. I have a number of KaThanha 1.0 magazines, and honestly, they're pretty great. They go together very easily, and they work pretty well. So, the redesign, the KaThanha 2.0, incidentally is supposed to be similar to a Talon-compatible magazine as well. For those not in the know, these are all half-dart magazines. So, I want to talk about the differences, the good, the bad, and anything in between. Alright, so let's get started. The dimensions of certain things, like the width of the stabilizer of the follower, are different. The sleeve is a little bit different. For example, I don't think the sleeve of one will fit on the other. Or at least not snugly. But that doesn't really matter. That's just a difference. The main difference of the 2.0 release is that this probably will not be visible on the video, but essentially what it boils down to is there are ridges, the raised ridges that go down the entire length of the magazine, and this is intended to allow the follower to slide more easily, well, the follower and the darts to slide more easily on this surface. So, now I haven't tested that with actual darts yet, but we'll get to that. That is the main difference. Additionally, KaThanha has changed the design of the dovetail locking mechanism a bit. And we'll get to that too. Alright, now, to recap, or catch up, KaThanha Magazine's 1.0 release goes together and comes apart very easily. Unless you glue it, of course, then it's not coming apart. But I could take, I have my drum spring in place, I could take this follower, put it on, and assemble this relatively quickly now. And boom, it's together. Now, if you put this in a blaster, during gameplay, when you're taking it out, putting it in, this might come apart. This is not the tightest adhesion, which is why for the ones that I intend to use, I've actually glued them. I put a dab on each side, a dab of super glue in this area, and one about in the middle, just to kind of keep things stable. And none of those have come apart. Of course, then you can't take them apart if you need to clean them or whatever, but that's an aside. Alright, but anyway, goes together easily and quickly, comes apart easily and quickly. The first, let's say, the first difference that I've noticed with these is that they do not go together or come apart quickly, and that is, I believe, part of the dovetail redesign. So you saw how quickly that happened, and granted this one has been disassembled, reassembled a couple times, so maybe it's gotten a little bit loosened up, but this one, the first time I did this, these sides would not go together, and I think as I do it more times, they are loosening up, but these dovetail joints are sharp. I keep cutting my fingers. I actually have I was bleeding there a bit yesterday from this magazine. It's going a bit better when I try and reassemble them now, but I have to go to each side usually and kind of press gently. I don't want to break them, but I want them to be lined up perfectly. It's a little bit more involved, and depending on the tolerances of your printer, you might have difficulty at first, like I did. This would not go together. It's better now. So, on the flip side of that, this will stay together better. This I can just easily push. It moves freely. This one, it might become worn to the point that it would be that loose, but right now, if I was to use this, I would not feel the need to glue it. These dovetail joints are staying together very nicely, which goes hand in hand with how difficult they were to get together. So, different, to some degree more annoying. Try not to cut yourself, but probably on the whole, to be honest, I think that's good. Alright. The sleeve at the bottom goes on about the same. This is now a solid magazine that I would not worry about coming apart during gameplay. Alright, now a few more differences. Alright, I'm going to try not to poke myself with the dovetails as I disassemble it. Those are really sharp. Alright, with the 1.0 magazine, the follower slid pretty easily. I did admittedly add a little bit of lithium grease to let it follow a bit more smoothly, but after that, they flow pretty well. This one, I found that the fit of this nub in the channel was much tighter. So I had to file down the sides of it, and I filed down the... I don't think I had to file down the top of it, but I did, because this was very much not smooth to start. Pretty good now. I would feel pretty good about it. In case you're curious about the difference, this one is narrower. This width here was wider in the 1.0 release. I don't think it really matters. But it's just a difference. Now let's get to the bad or the insurmountable. As you'll notice, this KaThanha magazine 2.0 is not assembled, and I keep disassembling it, and I have my drum spring here. It's just been sitting off to the side, and there's a good reason for that. The reason is, for the life of me, I cannot get the drum spring in either of these slots. With the 1.0 release, it goes in very easily. It fits perfectly, and I don't have any worry about it coming loose. On this release, both of these were printed without supports, so it shouldn't, the printer shouldn't, or the slicer, should not have put a support underneath the lip where the spring follower goes, but I cannot for the life of me get this in either one of them. Now, with having one opaque side and one clear side, my intention is that the spring would live on the opaque side. So I've really only been focusing on that, but I tried on this one too. I cannot get the spring follower in. This this opening just isn't. I don't actually know for sure if there even is an opening. There might be. There might not be. I tried taking a very small screwdriver to it. I tried taking an X-Acto knife to it, which is the narrowest, finest point, sharpest thing that I own, and I cannot get this to open up. I could keep trying. I'm worried about cutting myself, honestly, because I'm not the most dexterous with very small things. But honestly, my main worry is just cutting it to the point where the flap would come off and it wouldn't be usable. So I'm actually going to keep at it because I like the idea of this. And if I can get it to work, it should work beautifully. But right now, unless I can get the spring inserted, obviously you need the spring, so, well, I guess you could go with one of them that compresses from the bottom, but I don't like that. I have plenty of drum springs, and I intend to use them with this, if I can. So I'm going to keep working on that, but right now, unfortunately, that is a game-changing, or that is a game stopper. Yeah, let's call it that. On the Talon-compatible Thantocles mag, I'm curious if that problem is also present, but I haven't printed those out because I don't have anything that's specifically set up to use Talon mags, but we will see. Alright, I hope this was educational or interesting. Let me know what you think. If you're not already a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. I could definitely use the viewership, and a like on the video would go far. Thank you very much, and see you next time.